A painful day in juvenile court in Mesa as the family of a 14-year-old girl watched the person responsible for her death accept a plea agreement.
In December, Jillian Reagan was on a UTV with a group of teens when the 14-year-old boy who was driving it crashed. Jillian was killed, leaving an unimaginable hole in her parents' hearts. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono was in court today as the teen was sentenced. And Bianca, what happened?
Guys, the teen responsible for Jillian Reagan's death is 14, and his criminal case was out of juvenile court, meaning our cameras were not allowed inside, and we won't be identifying him in our reporting. But it was gut-wrenching, hearing the victim impact statements made by Jillian's parents. They describe the impact this loss has had on their lives: depression, weight loss, hair loss, the inability to drive, panic attacks. They feel their lives ended when their daughter lost hers. An emotional day in juvenile court as the heartbroken family of 14-year-old Jillian Reagan hoped for justice.
Everybody should be held fully accountable for their role in this tragedy.
Attorney Mark Breyer speaking on behalf of Jillian's family. She was a freshman at Chaparral High School and was a walking miracle. She had health issues as a baby, undergoing multiple surgeries, at times in a full body cast or a wheelchair. Her parents doing whatever they could to make her life a grand one, describing Jillian as pure love. But her life was senselessly cut short on December 9th when the teen driving the UTV she was on crashed into a fire hydrant in Scottsdale.
We have a family here that has questions and no answers.
On Tuesday, the 14-year-old driver was sentenced. Jillian's mom and dad giving emotional impact statements through tears, explaining how their daughter, who was at a sleepover the night of December 8th, ended up going to the home of the 14-year-old boy. Several teens got onto his parents' UTV and he drove them through the desert. Jillian's parents say the group was screaming at him to slow down, but around 1 o'clock in the morning, he crashed, killing Jillian.
This beautiful 14-year-old girl should not lose their life while a 14-year-old is driving a vehicle that there shouldn't be keys to and access to, and a bunch of kids in with no helmets and no restraints.
The 14-year-old pleading guilty to negligent homicide, what would be a felony offense if it were prosecuted in adult court. After reading an apology to Jillian's family, he was sentenced to probation, which will expire the day before his 18th birthday. He also must write letters to the victims and a 5-page essay on why safety is important while operating a motorized vehicle. Jillian's family calls it a slap on the wrist.
The juvenile system is not fully comforting for a family who lost a beautiful, innocent, amazing 14-year-old girl.
Jillian's family is still left with questions. What exactly happened the night of the crash? How did the 14-year-old with no license get access to the vehicle? What role did his parents play? It's why they're now pursuing civil litigation against the teen and his family, hoping to get those answers.
We're going to leave no stone unturned to get the answers to these questions that the civil justice system will allow us to get, and then hold people accountable to the fullest degree we can in that setting.
And I reached out to the Scottsdale Police Department asking if the 14-year-old's parents were ever questioned in this case and if charges were considered for them. Police declined to comment. An attorney for the suspect released a statement this afternoon saying, "We are also very, very sorry for Jillian's family and the other victims. We cannot imagine what any of them are going through. We know there is nothing anyone can do to undo this harm and hope and pray that they find some comfort in Jillian's memory." Live in studio, Bianca Bono, 12 News.